Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Relationship Communications Weekly Live. I'm thrilled that you're here, and for those of you that are joining us for the first time, I'm Lisa DeToffol, and I'm the founder of Relationship Communications. It's my online community where I work with established and aspiring entrepreneurs, and today I'm going to be your host for the Relationship Communications Weekly Live, which is my weekly live stream show that airs every Friday at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you will add that to your calendar and make plans to join us every Friday afternoon. And my goal here is to share tactical and practical information to help you get where you want to go faster than you can get on your own. I've been an entrepreneur for 7 years. I've made many mistakes, and I am here to tell you I can help you move through them more quickly by sharing what I've learned through my experiences. So let me know you're here. Say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. And we are streaming on various different platforms. So if you are watching us over on YouTube, please do hit that subscribe button or ring that bell so that you can be notified every time that we go live. So today we're going to be talking about setting goals. Yes, I know it's not the beginning of the year, but I'll explain that a little bit more in depth in a moment. But before we dive into our topic, I'd like to introduce myself. So I was a preschool teacher back in 2017 and 25 years prior to that. And I had dreamed from working from home, but had been through 2 messy divorces and been a single mom twice. And it just didn't seem possible at that time. I was the breadwinner of my household, and yeah, there was some scarcity there. A little bit scared to take that chance and go out and do anything on my own. Then in 2016, I could see things start to change and the possibilities of my dreams coming true. However, it was not an easy task. So with my family's support, I started a training program to learn how to be a virtual assistant in 2018, which also showed me how to start my own business. So by the end of that program, I had a couple of clients and have continued to grow my business, and now the Tiger Eye Solution team that was established in 2021 every single year. So my life looks a little bit different now than it did back then, right? I have grown children. I have 3 grandchildren, so they all keep me on my toes. So let's talk about setting some goals. It's almost the end of the first quarter of 2026, believe it or not. Seems like just yesterday it was January 1st, right? And we were starting this new year. Well, at the end of this month, the first quarter of 2026 will be over. So I hope you have some goals in place for quarter 2 of 2026. If not, then it's definitely time to set your goals for the second quarter of the year. And it's easy. Sometimes it's easy to help everyone else set their goals, but not help ourselves put goals in place. Not to create a plan for a goal that we want to reach. And you don't want to neglect your business that way, okay? If you make a plan, you want to check in with it every week. You want it to stay top of mind. You want it to be something you are actually focusing on. So, today we're going to talk about that and how to do that in a way that works, okay? So, again, how many of you are goal setters? Let me know in the chat if you are actually a goal setter. More than that, how many of you set goals and stick to them? Many of us, I can use this first quarter for an example. Maybe we set goals back in January, and now here it is March. We don't forgot about them, right? Some people do that. I hope you're not one of them, but it does happen. So share with me in the chat if you're a goal setter and if you actually set goals and stick to them, okay? So one of the first things you need to be able to do is set the goal and be able to imagine what you want to accomplish. Okay? It's important that you can do this. And there's a couple of ways that you can do this. You can, close your eyes and imagine what the goal is and how you want it to turn out, the end result. Another one is you can write it down. And this is what I normally do, is I write my goal down and write it down as if it's already occurred, right? So this is something that you actually want to take place, to actually happen, right? So a couple of years ago, when my daughter was in search for a college, I had wrote that out, and her and I sat down and had a conversation, and we picked 5 different schools that she wanted to visit. I wrote something like, Alyssa is thrilled with her, choice. She is certain that this is the right school for her. After we had visited all 5 of those colleges, and she had pinpointed and chosen the exact one she wanted to attend. The process was easy, and we had fun traveling around visiting, all the possibilities of schools for her. The 5 different ones that she chose that she wanted to visit before, finally picking the one that she is actually attending now. She's almost finished with her first year of college. So something like that, because choosing a college can be really stressful, not just on the student that's going to be attending, but on the whole family, the parents as well. So it's essential. It's emotional, it's financial. Your child's moving out on their own, so to speak, if they're going to live on campus, all the things. And it can be a lot of pressure. It can be a lot of stress, to pick the right school and to try to navigate all of that. It can be a lot. So, and there's a lot of steps to it as well, right? But if you break it down, kind of like, I'm sorry, oh my goodness, what did I just do? My apologies. Hold on. I just lost my slides. I apologize. Let me get them back up real quick. I don't know what happened. Maybe I hit the wrong button. My apologies for that. Let me get the right ones back up here. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay. There we go. Okay, that's not the way we want it up there. Okay, there we go. So, that can be a long process, a stressful process, like I said, not just for the student that's actually going to be attending college, but for the family as well. So if you set a goal and you start early on, like I said, we did this probably the summer before her junior year in high school. We sat down at the beginning of that summer, actually before her sophomore year was even over, and I told her to think about 5 different schools you'd like to visit. So that way we can go during the summer and go visit these schools. You can start narrowing down which ones you like the best. And she did narrow it down to 2. And we went back and visited those 2 for a second time. And then she picked the one that she is currently attending. So it is a process. So you definitely want to make sure you set aside time for the whole process, okay? Like I said, because it can be stressful. It can be a lot of pressure. And it takes a lot to navigate through that whole process, right? So break it down in ways that it's manageable. And focus on one thing at a time. And that's exactly what we did. We sat down and we made a list of those colleges that she wanted to go visit, that she thought she would be interested in attending. And this is critical, when creating goals, even for your business, okay? So think about writing, what will it be like when you reach this goal? And be sure to put the emotion into it as well. You know, emotion is the fuel that sets it on fire and puts it into motion or into action, so to speak. So start to imagine what your goal can be and what it's going to look like when you actually complete it, okay? So language is also important in goal setting. You have to pay close attention to it. There's an author, Louisa Hay, set your intentions, that's stated, set your intentions and not only repeat it, but feel the emotion of how it will affect your life for good. And yes, this is correct, right? Again, pay attention to your language, to the goal itself, and make it a goal that's measurable. If you need accountability, get accountability partner to help you, to help hold you accountable to reaching that goal. You want to have a conversation with me to see what that would look like? Let's have one. You know, another example of, you know, you may have a goal of earning X amount of money in a year, right? Write it down and then break it down. You know, if you want to have a goal of making $100,000 by the end of 2026, okay, how much did you make in this first quarter? How much do you need to make in the second quarter in order to move you forward to reach that goal by the end of this year, right? So write it down and then break it down so you can actually make it happen. You know, what needs to take place to make this happen so that I will reach my goal of, you know, making $100,000 by the end of this year for my business, right? And I know you can do it. Next week, there's part 2 to this, so I will dive a little bit deeper into how to make your goals measurable. Another example too is like losing weight. That is a good one too, because a lot of people set goals at the very beginning of the year to lose weight, right? So many people set that type of a goal at the beginning of a year. So here we are at the end of the first quarter, almost to the first quarter. We have a few days left of this year. If you set a goal back in January to lose weight, how much weight have you lost so far? What is your end goal? How much weight do you want to lose altogether? Right? Maybe you need to lose 25 or 40 pounds. Maybe that was your end goal, was to lose that much weight. So you need to track it. Here it is, the end of first quarter. How much have you lost so far? Write it down. I have lost X amount of pounds by the end of the first quarter in 2026. Stick to your routine, whether it's exercise routine or a diet routine, you know, whatever kind of routine it is that you have in place. And if you forgot to set your routine or to actually put the routine in place back in January, you need to get busy and put that routine in place, right? So that you can get back on track and lose the exact amount of weight that you want to lose by the end of this year, right? Just want to check something right quick. I know my live earlier this week, people said they could not hear me. So I do hope that I can be heard. Perfect. So, again, write down your goals. Put some action items under that goal and start taking action. Start doing those action items, okay? Again, we're going to have a part 2 to this next week to kind of share a little bit more in depth of how to make it measurable. But again, if you don't have accountability partners, sometimes that's very helpful to have one when you're trying to set goals and actually complete and reach those goals, okay? So also want to invite you. We had our networking mixer earlier this week, and it was really, really fun. So that was the one for the March, but now we have one set for April as well. So our next networking mixer is going to be April 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Go ahead and add that to your calendar. April 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Come network and meet new people. Get to know them. We had so much fun earlier this week at the networking mixer for March. It was really a lot of fun. So add this to your calendar so that you can make plans to attend as well. Also want to invite you to the Networking Method Launchpad. That'll be starting on April 15th. It's a 3-day event. It's free to attend. However, you do need to sign up in order to attend, because it does happen in a private Facebook group, okay? So the Networking Method Launchpad is what it is called, and it's where I will share with you how to start your networking or build your network on a regular basis. And no matter if you're just starting from scratch or if you have tried networking before, these are tried and true methods that I teach and that I have been doing myself since 2018. Everyone is welcome to this 3-day event. It is free, again, to attend. So mark your calendars. Part 1 will be April 15th. Again, it is in a private Facebook group. Is where everything will be taking place. So you do need to sign up so that you can be invited to that private Facebook group where the event takes place. This is, it will be a lot of fun. We have prizes, we have a workbook, we have bonuses, all the things. Part 1 that takes place on the 15th is where we'll talk about what is networking. And then part 2 takes place on April 20th. And it's kind of magical because we learn how to get real about our networking. And then part 3 takes place on April 22nd. And this is where you learn how to start from where you are. Like I said, there'll be homework and bonuses and so much more. And then I'm also going to be opening the doors to the Networking Method Launchpad, which is my 6-month signature course on how to make the most of your networking efforts. So I'd love for you to give that some thought as well. If you have any questions about anything that I shared today, please do reach out. I hope these tips were helpful for you around goal setting, since we are fixing to start the second quarter of 2026. Like I said, next week will be part 2 on goal setting, so I hope to see you there. Hope you have a great weekend, and I'll see you again soon.